Hey guys. I just want to talk today about the podcast. It's called the Randomizer Cast. I'm starting it with me and my good friends Nathan and Mason. They have their own respective channels. I'll link them in the description of this video along with the podcast, so you guys can go follow them and the podcast. The podcast is on YouTube, as I said in the short I uploaded earlier. I'm not sure when you see this, but as of right now, when I'm recording, I uploaded a short earlier. But I wanted to go into a little bit more depth more instead of, having to scrunch it all into 60 seconds. Okay, so basically, it's just us talking, and we do plan on, we have the first episode. It's just an introduction since Mason, he wasn't able to get his camera working. So me and Nathan wanted to get something out because, we promised to record the day before. We were like, okay, we need to get something out. So that's kind of what happened there. And eventually, like, we tried to get Mason to come on the first episode, but his camera wasn't working. So me and Nathan got something out. It's just an introduction, but to both of us. We had a lot of fun. And here's the thing. I watched the podcast. It kept my attention span. Yeah, my non-existent attention span. That's a pretty difficult thing to keep my attention span. So I really think you guys will enjoy the podcast. We're working on a logo at the moment. My friend Nathan, he is in the podcast. He's working on it. It's gonna be like a funny little like background icon with a slot machine in the middle to like represent like a randomizer, you know. Uh, the channel name is called Randomizer because when we came up with the name, we didn't realize how many channels were gonna be called Randomizer. So we went with Randomizer, and then now we're changing it to Randomizer Cast, which makes a lot more sense in general. Go my brain for thinking of randomizer. But yeah, that's really it. It's basically just us having fun, and we plan on bringing more people onto the podcast if they'll come onto the podcast. And I said this in the introduction. Here's the thing: nobody's gonna come to the podcast. No, nobody's gonna come on the podcast if they don't know what the podcast is. I'm just saying. If they don't know what the podcast is, they ain't gonna come to it. But that's it. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the podcast.